Hello, YouTube.
Hello, YouTube. Hello, Ryan. I'd say
Hello,
it's good to see
Marcella.
you, but I've seen you plenty. It's never a bad thing.
But it has been a very good day meeting up as we have.
It has been a very exciting 24 hours for this 51-year-old who can't believe the things we're doing in the amount of time that we're doing them. Today, I insisted on going live because I still am reeling about the fact that we were able to relaunch
Mhm.
the brand side of our website, and we'll talk about what that means specifically, but the brand side of our website, which is about 15 pages, give or take, in 24 hours.
Yep.
Give or take actual work, maybe 10, 12 of
Yeah, I would
sitting in
say.
front of the computer. But Wix, like so many of these turnkey website platforms, has its pluses and its minuses. Let me give a little background to everybody on why we went with Wix. I swore against Wix back in the days when I was building websites, when I first had an agency. I said never because it had launched around that time. We were WordPress people. I've never liked Squarespace beyond anybody who's going to have like a one-page website. And Shopify, e-commerce, expensive, but I've never been on the e-commerce game. You do the e-commerce game.
Yep.
You have your Shopify pluses and minuses. You don't use them. Regardless, for a brand website, WordPress is a great option. We were building a service in essence, the digital service,
Mhm.
but it's a service. We have a community component, but most importantly, it is a recurring revenue subscription service. So after looking at everything, I really decided that Wix had the easiest backend for that. I didn't have to worry about which plugin I needed. I didn't have to worry about whether they all worked right together, if there was going to be some breach, data or security breach because I bought the wrong plugin. Everything's baked in. It does a really good job on the back end. The front end, on the other hand,
Ruh-roh.
now I've seen some agencies. There's people out there that have built beautiful websites on Wix, and I'm like, how did you do that? Oh, I know CSS. I'm like, forget it. I really like the plug and play. So we launched on Wix, but it was a struggle. It was a struggle because when we started to wireframe in AI frameworks, they looked so good. And every time I went to try to implement it on Wix, it's just wonkiness all over the place.
Yeah.
So last week, we realized that we asked Manus to critique our customer journey, to critique the workflows. And after we analyzed our customer journey and the workflows, we realized we were ready for a change. We also launched new services
Yep.
and wanted to make sure that we had awareness pages, the consideration pages, and then, of course, everything, the conversion is happening on Wix. So I said, Ryan, I love these pages, these wireframes, if you want to call them up. They're fully baked out, beautiful HTML pages that Manus was giving us as examples. I want them on Wix. Can't we just copy the HTML or the CSS on Wix? No. So we
Well,
then,
you could technically, but you would have to deliver it in an iframe. And I'm sorry to get geeky, everyone,
no, we're
but
here to be geeky on YouTube. I'm not going to yell at you about being
okay,
geeky on
cool.
YouTube.
Because in order to do it on Wix, as I understand it, if you know different, please comment below and let us know. Because we're not Wix experts by any stretch of the imagination. The only way to deploy a complete block of HTML that I understand it, which would be able to include the CSS rather than have a separate call, is to embed it into an iframe on the page on Wix. Embedding anything in an iframe is effectively 1980s technology. Sorry, that was a little sarcastic, but it's not a way to do things. It cannot. anything in an iframe is basically invisible from a search engine. Let's just put it that way. That's probably the best way to describe that. Very poor way to deliver things. It was a good idea at the time, but just never needed. So there we go. Back over to you, Marcel.
Yeah. So, what was the process? What's the thinking, right? We're here to learn how to operate our business. We have frameworks that we followed for years based on our experience, but we stumbled too. And I realized that if I kept trying to build the site myself, it was just never going to look the way this beautiful CSS styled, again, I'm going to call it a wireframe, but it was a designed page from
Mm-hmm.
Manus was going to look. So I said, you know what, let's put some budget into this. We looked at our projections, we looked at our numbers, and found out that on Upwork, while you can get some really inexpensive WordPress folks, Wix, not so much. The comparison quote that I got from 3 different folks for one page was $100 per page.
And we
So
need
again,
15
if
of them.
you need 15 of them. So that was just not going to happen. That is going to kill our margin for the month. So I came back, Marcella started to take component by component. And within about an hour and a half of yelling at the computer, I said, absolutely not. So I came back to Ryan and I said, why can't we just push this into a subdomain? And I'm always afraid of subdomains. So Ryan, can you give us a little bit of background on certainly why I had a fear of launching something on a subdomain that was so critical to the business compared to just having it on the main,
Yeah.
the core of the site?
So to put subdomain versus a top level domain, and a top level domain is your www.readyplayandgrow.com. So readyplayandgrow.com is the top level domain. Think of that as a house, okay? You're standing on the sidewalk looking at this house. The house is your website. You can see your house, right? You can approximate your house and everything else. Subdomains live in the backyard. You can't see them, okay? Unless you want the search engine to see them. That's a whole nother slight conversation. But essentially, you have your top level domain here, and you can then, dependable upon your host, you can create a number, a multiple number up to 100, I believe, with GoDaddy. Most popular is about 100 limit. But you can create page.readyplangrow.com. And you could have pages, you can build another website on that subdomain. If you want to link them all together as an entire site, then you have to inform Google. There's a whole process that's involved. But essentially, you are using the real estate that is available to you when you purchase that. It's called a TLD, or that we hate on acronyms, top level domain. You have all this real estate underneath that you can put stuff on. It's often used for internal libraries, internal employee documents, and things like that, right? So that is what we are utilizing available to us to basically accelerate these pages and get them up quickly. And then after Marcella has designed them and we push them, then I go in and tell Google what the architecture is so they understand what's going
So in non-techie speak, in the
on.
past, when when I was working on directly on websites, I just didn't have the technical know-how to manage between the core domain or the top level domain
Mhm.
and a subdomain. Number one. Number two, as Ryan said, if you're not into SEO and you don't know the back end of this, you're always afraid, like, what if it's not going to get indexed? What if Google doesn't see this as a part of my site? So I had all this fear, and I don't know if that's old thinking or not, Ryan, or if the fear is right, but I always just was a big no-no on that. Now, you've been testing subdomains on Logoclaws, your e-commerce business,
Yep.
and they're getting ranked.
Yep.
They are getting scanned from a both search engine and
Large language
AI
one.
LLMs, large language
Large
Lalalas,
language
lalala,
models. Yeah.
lalalas.
It's not
So
Friday yet either.
after, close enough, after you had those tests come through successfully,
Hmm.
I thought, let's give it a go.
Yep.
Because the difference in speed, efficiency, and low
Cost
level of frustration is
and
just
cost.
massive. Let's talk cost, right?
Yeah.
$1,500 it would have cost us to relaunch these pages. And that does not include the back and forth that you have to do with these freelancers on
Yep.
Upwork that can be such a nightmare. So we went ahead and made the right decision for our business to accelerate this change. And I'm just going to share my screen
Yeah, let's see a
to give
finished
you a
pages.
sense of where we landed. So this is the old About Us that we had originally pulled together, very old design when we started just playing with this as a side hustle little
Yep.
project, right? Our new About Us now
Stand
looks like
there, please.
this.
Look at that.
So we did not touch any code to build this page. We have a knowledge base that Ryan built inside of Manus, an AI platform. It holds all of the information about us, who we are, our brand voice, all of the key factors that are about our business are held inside of it. We both work inside collectively inside this one place. So when we make updates to our brand, when we make updates to our language, it's all sitting inside of this brain. And what's wonderful about it, it's like a little backpack. I can export that knowledge base and take it with me to ChatGPT or take it with me to Claude so that as we build it inside of Manus, it can communicate with other AI platforms. So all I literally did was tell Manus that I wanted to redesign our website starting page by page. I said, let's start with the About Us. Let's continue to each of these pages. Let me show you another page. This is our old Get Funded. Now I was trying to replicate, this was one of those pages that I tried to replicate the design that Manus had given me into Wix. This is what it should have looked like.
Much better.
Again, zero code from my end. It just took the information.
How did you get the video in there, Marcella, when you rendered it?
It
Did you?
was an embed code. I uploaded it to, originally we had this video inherently inside of Wix. Wix has
Okay.
a video hosting platform. All I had to do was upload it to YouTube, which we wanted it in anyway.
Hmm.
And then I gave Manus the embed code for it. I do want 2 or 3
Gotcha.
videos, so I will be giving it more because we have more testimonials. So I'll be
Hmm.
giving it that code and we'll be seeing that change. So in the end, these are all of the pages.
I
I
love that.
asked it for the drop down. It made the decision by itself that the menu should change colors to improve the user experience. It was one of the options that it asked me if I wanted. So we started with our About Us. I gave it our solutions page. And then once we agreed to it, came up with this format. It gave me the 1 through 4 for how the membership works. It made all of these decisions based on the pages I already had on Wix, plus new information that the Wix site did not have because our knowledge base was more recently updated than what we had on our website. So now that we're running these pages from Manus, publishing from Manus into this subdomain, every time that we update the knowledge base, I can ask it to go look for it for that new language or that new piece of information and pull it in. So for example, our education page, which I'm still thinking about whether I'm going to call that education or frameworks, can get updated in real time without my having to insert a section, copy and paste content. All of this is happening on the fly.
This is
So
so
it's
cool.
not just time saved, it's not just how clean it is, but it's the fact that we saved $1,500 and we used about $90 in tokens, maybe 100 by the time we're done building out more content inside of this. So just to repeat, using a subdomain to drive the brand side of the website. We have Wix sitting on the back. So when you go to pricing, and you can kind of feel that shift in how it feels a bit, right? This is where all of the operations sit. We made sure that the menu matches. You can still see a bit of a difference in the design of it. So I'll work on that. But the menus match, the user experience matches, but where you actually transact with us and when you log into your account, all of this is Wix. So the marketing operations piece and the blog, the content management system, is Wix. You can feel the difference, but we need that functionality to be turnkey, and therefore we'll continue to use Wix for this until we're at a point where maybe we'll upgrade up to something else. But for now, this is a great way for us to run the business, and it's saving us hours and hours of torture in redesigning a website. Now, we both worked at a big company before, and the process, even if you're not a small business, would have been, hey, I created these pages. Here, Ryan, the SEO guy, can you please go optimize this for me? Hey, Ryan, can I have the most recently updated keywords? This is all happening inside of our knowledge base.
And it's happening because Marcella and I have distilled our knowledge of those painful meetings and things that we would go through. And now we don't have that. We can just iterate with the AI as if it is our entire team. And as we iterate, not only is it working with our knowledge, but with us as human in the loop, with the experience we have, we can gauge the output, we can tweak the output, and our effort is minimal, absolutely minimal, because we're not here to preach AI automation completely. There still needs to be the human in the loop. But yeah, we're blown away that we could complete this much work between two people without writing any code and deliver it, have it up and ready by the end of the day.
Yeah. So you can see the pages are all in here, and I can just ask Manus to make changes on those pages as we review them, as we experience them, etc. And the key point is on these calls, Brian and I will collaborate. This is in essence our entire design team, our SEO team, our website optimization team sitting in front of us doing the heavy lifting on this. So that's the big takeaway that I'm really excited about. You can also see that the project, actually, I'm going to lose this, Ryan. The project summary, here's the task details. So just want to prove this to everybody. The task details, we are at about 9,000 credits, and a credit, Ryan informed me, is 0.01,
Yeah.
about 0.01 per. So if you do the math on that, again, we're under $100 on this. I think those are the key things. My big tips are, if you're going to do this, make sure that you understand how to publish to a subdomain. Make sure that you understand the user experience has to be very similar between both sites. You don't want to be too jarred going from one place to the other. And the one thing that we may now spend on is the homepage. So our homepage still feels too Wixy to me. So now if I have to spend $100 to go have, once we test this and see if the messaging is working and if it's resonating, we'll send this to our community. We'll get feedback on our office hours from our members. And if this is resonating, then I will go spend $100 on having the homepage updated. So then I feel good about it. And I'm not like, it doesn't match exactly because I'm anal and that will bother me. Some people may look at this and go, what are you talking about? I see it. I see it.
Yep.
So listen, if you're not using AI to create efficiency and multiply the ability of your work, of your team, you're missing out. It is not hard. You just need to spend a little bit of time learning. We invite you into our community to do that with us. Membership is free for those of you that just want to understand these frameworks, to understand what a knowledge base is and how it works. We're publishing videos and educational modules around it. But if you want to build your knowledge base, join us. We will come back and update everybody on how the performance has been. We have to check speed. Ryan, I have a question. How does hosting, just out of curiosity, now that I'm thinking about it, how does hosting work with Manus? Because we're hosting it
Right.
on Manus, the subdomain, and then we have, of course, we're paying Wix for hosting as well. So how does that work on Manus?
So basically, Manus has like a local system, like a local hosting system within it where it will host everything. So if you go and create something in Manus, say you build a landing page, with a form on it or something, it's going to render that so that you can see it in your browser. And that's going to be on what it calls a manusspace.com. Okay. Which is Manus, think of it as Manus's internal server where it's going to host everybody's work that's working. Okay. Not just in everyone who's using Manus is what I'm saying. So you go into this ecosystem that Manus runs where they just spin these things up. If you want to make it more permanent, then you can apply it to your own subdomain. And we'll have to do a separate video on this, Marcella. It's not complicated, but it's just a little walkthrough and show people how to do that. Then Manus will host the files, but push them up to your DNS settings, basically. So as long as you have a live Manus account that you're paying for monthly, you can't do this on the free account, then you would be able to push items you create to a subdomain.
Okay, so you're creating work inside of this AI platform, Manus.
Yep.
We have the coding completed for the site. We used one chat or one one chat
One chat. Yep.
to create all the pages so that it was communicating across all of that. We've published it. Now, what happens if, I know it won't happen because Manus is now owned by Meta, but let's say, well, I know it won't disappear tomorrow, but let's use a real
Well, you got to
scenario.
prepare for just in case, right? That's just
Well, the
technology.
just in case I'm afraid of is really money, because I'm fully expecting Facebook to start charging out the wazoo for this stuff.
Right.
So we have to create redundancy in our businesses. This is something that we preach about. Make sure that your WordPress is being backed up. Make sure that you're using, caching systems and all of the right marketing operations pieces. From an operational standpoint, you be my programmer. If tomorrow you're sick and something happens, or if you're going on vacation,
Right.
Where does this code sit, Ryan? What do we do to make sure that we have redundancies in place so that we can turn this thing back on and get back on it?
Copy. So we have two options. We executed one of those options when we were working together today. And I'm sure you recall I had you download the zip file of the entire project. Okay. That gives us everything we need. So if we need it, and that gives us essentially the same file system that we could push to a GitHub repository as well through the AI. That's one way you could do it. So you could push your code, put it in a GitHub repository. And for those of you who don't know what GitHub is basically a huge server out in cyberspace where you can store your code securely. You push it up there. and the term is push because you're putting it up into there, and then you pull it back down, and you can push from anywhere and pull from anywhere within your account to any computer. So you could do a backup on GitHub, which is something that we will bring in. We didn't do it with this process yet, but we will do once we've got you connected. And the zip file, I think, is also a great backup as well, because you could take that zip file, take that over to another host, maybe HostGator or somewhere where you have what's called a WHM access to the server. You can upload that
We
zip file,
we
unpack it.
we like SiteGround.
Yeah, SiteGround. We like SiteGround. Go to
I'm like,
SiteGround. We like SiteGround. Um, and there's no affiliate link in the corner or anything. We just
no,
like
there's nothing.
SiteGround. We
I'm
just
just
like it.
HostGator's a
Um,
curse word to me. I'm sorry. I had to
well,
react.
I have a lot of stuff hosted with HostGator.
I
I have
know.
for
Well,
years.
it's
It
cheap.
works for
It's cheap,
me.
but I just
Yeah.
sorry. I had to call you out. I
No,
had
no, no,
to.
that's fine. That's fine. That's totally cool. So
Oh,
that's essentially how you would create redundancies in case, Manus went down, the pages are lost, you don't have the code anymore. So my thing would be two-pronged, GitHub and zip file, and
yeah.
you're secure with that. You're good to go.
So big lesson here. Time equals
Yes.
money. Time also equals stress, right? Because I can think of
Hmm.
50 other things that I should be doing to build
Yeah.
this business, and fudging around on whether or not my Wix is moving in too slow when I didn't, I couldn't, I wouldn't, I was done. So time is money, time is stress, and time buying that back is also expensive.
Yeah.
So that's one big takeaway. The second big takeaway is yes, the stuff is all cool and incredible, but you have to have backups and redundancies in
It's
place.
not magic, people. It's not magic.
There's no magic bullet on
Um,
any of this stuff. If somebody's promising you that, oh, I need a bell. Big red something, red alarm.
If there was a
Sorry,
magic
folks.
bullet, we'd have found it by now and we wouldn't be
Oh,
sitting here making a video. We'd be on a beach somewhere, right?
amen. So those are the key things. Very excited about this work. If you
Yes.
want to learn more, please join us, readyplangrow.com. We are here to answer your questions. Leave comments or questions down below the video. Ryan is our resident YouTube addict. He is here waiting for any comments or questions. Chat with us on the website, join the community for free, and start learning how to build efficiencies and use the right frameworks for your business so that you can automate these things without having to do it over and over and over again.
And remember that learning about AI and getting through the fear loop that you might be sitting in right now is is all about humans. It's not about the AI. It's about we are about the humans teaching you how to use this stuff, demystify it, so that you can move forward and grow
Yeah.
because it's so powerful.
Yeah, folks, we're in our 50s.
Yeah, we're not.
We're not, out there clubbing, sadly, anymore. Had to really jump in and throw our arms around this because we
Yeah,
love building, we love being efficient and helping others do so. But you cannot think this is just some magical thing that's in a box that's going to answer everything. You have to understand how it works.
yeah.
So we're here. Come on, join us. Ryan,
See you
thanks
soon.
for supporting me on the techie side of this.
It was fun.
I got the brand crazy side, you've got the techie
Yep,
side, and together we're making this happen. I look forward to going live with you again soon.
absolutely. It's been
Bye,
fun. Have a good
everyone. See
evening.
you soon.
See you,
Bye.
everyone. Take care. Can we take our permagrin?